guys, so first official ER video of the year. I had two projects before this, but I didn't make a video. So this project, definitely best project I've done. It was awesome. We built BattleBots out of VCR cases, and we originally were going to strap pins to the front and try to pop each other's balloons, but it got a little more intense than that, and it was really fun. So the purpose of this project was to mainly get us to apply gear motors to our projects. Last ER we built a gearbox, but that was pretty large, so we just bought gear motors, which achieved the same thing. What we used was a VHS case as the body of the car. We used either one or, in my case, two caster wheels on the front of the car so that it would be able to turn any direction. And then we had the two gear motors on the back, one on each wheel, so that if you powered one forward and the other one was off, then it would turn, and the caster wheels would allow it to. So the two main components were the gear motors and the DP-DT switches. They are momentary, off, and momentary. So the way we wired them is they had 6 pins, 2 on top, 2 in the middle, and 2 on the bottom. So we put the motors, positive and negative, in the middle, the power and ground on the top, and then we took separate wires and put it on the top power and ground pins and crossed it over to the bottom 2 pins of the switch. So what that let us do is when we press forward, because power and ground of the battery pack is positive and negative, the motor would turn forwards. But because we crossed it on the bottom, when we press back on the motor, positive and negative are switched, so the motor would turn the opposite direction. That way it would let us go forward and backwards. And of course, since it's momentary, when you're not pressing forwards or backwards, the motors are just off. The other really cool part about this project was the controller. What we did was we had sort of a piece of acrylic about, this big, and we clamped it to a piece of PVC pipe. And then we took sort of a paint remover heat gun and heated the acrylic and bent it around the PVC pipe. Not all the way, but just so that you could hold the controller like this, like a regular controller. And then we cut out squares and just pressure fit our DP-DT switches in, because they have sort of the like the bends on the sides, so you push them in, slide it in, let it go, and then it won't go in or fall out. Also, in my case, I added another switch. It was just a simple on-off switch, and what it controlled was a third motor that I used. I just used a regular motor. I'll put a link on my blog to what motor I used. And I put it on the top of my car with a 3-pronged fan blade on it. You'll remember it from my first project, the fan car. I reused it, and I hot glued and taped the 3 pins that I was allowed to use onto each blade of the fan, so that when I turned it on, you'd have a spinning wheel of death and everyone's balloon would be popped. Looking back, that probably wasn't the best idea. It was a fantastic idea, to say myself. But the problem was, you'll see if you watch the second battle, when my motor hit something that it couldn't move through, instead of stopping, it was spinning so fast that it actually ripped the motor off of the top of my car, so that I couldn't use it anymore. And because I didn't have a backup pin, I had no way of attack, and I would just lose. So looking back, I would probably put a stationary pin on the front of my car. That way, if something did happen to the motor, I could still at least compete and not just run away. Um, Overall, the project was really great. I think doing the gearbox last week and then using the gear motors this week helped us sort of understand what was actually happening in the gear motors. It's not just like a slower motor. Um, and the switches were really great. Uh, they made controlling the car a lot easier than having, switch forward, switch back, and all that. So I have links to the data sheet for the motor I used. I have a link to how to wire the switches. I have pictures of my car, pictures of my controller, and all the videos on my blog if you go there. If you just want to go to the videos straight from here, then this will be the first battle, second battle, and third battle. So click those if you want to go watch them. First one's definitely the best because I win. The other two, the second one, my car falls apart, so watch that if you want to laugh. And the third one, I actually popped my own balloon because of my spinning motor. It was a great project. It was really fun. And if you want to try it, definitely check out what is it? Page 22 to 27 of the Evil Genius book, because that's where we got the idea from. It was a great idea. So I'll have another ER next week with the next project. We're going to be using remote controls, so no wires next time, and it's going to be really awesome. All right.